Welcome back to Breakdown. JJ, it is Monday, February 9, 2026. Yesterday was a big day. What happened yesterday?
Yesterday was a big day, and the evil empire was defeated. We didn't have to see the New England Patriots win another Super Bowl, so
Super Bowl 60 is in the book.
it is in the
And the
books.
winner was
Well, the winner was the Seattle Seahawks.
Chelsea. Any Big Ten, SEC connections?
Well, because of the transfer portal and because of expansion, yes, we have both Big Ten affiliated. USC is now a member of the Big Ten. Sam Darnold was not a member of the Big Ten when he was at USC, but the school is now, and he's the first USC Trojan to start at quarterback in the Super Bowl, and they won the game.
Was he the MVP?
He was not the MVP. Some
MVP.
some of the people thought that he could have gotten it, but he was a very inspirational story. He's going to be like one of those stories you're going to tell kids, about Kurt Warner. They're going to make a movie about this. I mean, like,
Okay.
seriously, like if you remember his first game, that seeing ghosts game or whatever. Do you remember that whole
What game about? His rookie year?
His rookie year with the
I
Jets,
don't
it was
remember.
against the New England Patriots.
Okay.
He threw 4 interceptions. It was a disastrous outing. Like, he got caught on camera from the overhead cam, saying that he's seeing ghosts and everything like that.
Okay.
That was a huge news.
Okay.
This was a redemption story. This was a redemption arc unlike anything other. I mean, it literally got a GM fired in Minnesota. So like this is going to be a great
Okay,
story.
you say he got a GM fired, but you didn't explain.
Well, he didn't just win 14 games this year in Seattle. He also won 14 games last year in Minnesota as well. He had a disastrous outing, multiple turnovers in the playoffs last year, and that led a poor taste in everybody's mouth, and they decided not to bring him back. So that's why he signed for such low money to go to be Seattle's starter. So,
Okay, now you said he was not the MVP. So who was MVP?
the MVP was the transfer from Wake Forest to Michigan State, Ken Walker, the first running back to be named MVP since 1998, Terrell Davis. Just the
1998.
ninth running back ever to be named MVP. He had one of the best games of his career. He, rarely rushed for rarely had more than 19 touches this entire year. But, Zach Charbonnet tore his ACL a couple of games ago. The load was all on him, and he had 27 touches. He almost set the record for most yards in the Super Bowl. He would have had, that touchdown not gotten called back for holding. But he didn't end up finishing with 200 yards. But
Say again?
he didn't end up finishing with over 200 yards, but he did
Oh, okay.
still finishing with over 130 and was named MVP.
Yeah, and you touched on it, but his running mate, Charbonnet,
Yeah.
was injured and did not play, did not dress. So it put an additional burden on him, which he handled extremely well.
Well, if you notice, you look at the Super Bowl, they did not have him in for a single passing down because he does not pass block. That's not what he's going to do. He's there to get yards, and that's what he did. Unfortunately, I don't think Seattle will be able to afford to pay him. His contract is coming up,
That's true.
and he really raised his price.
He was getting about $2 million a year, two something. I don't know the exact amount. How much will he be getting next year? And if he's not at Seattle, maybe he will be.
I mean, that's a good question. He could be in Houston. Houston really needs a running back. There's a lot of places that need.
So how much? Is
He'll get
is
double
that?
digits.
Okay,
He's young enough. He's young enough, and
Let's go to college football, JJ.
yeah, we can pivot to, since we're still talking football. We can pivot to college football.
There's a guy at Ole Miss who from Grand Rapids, Michigan, named Trinidad Chambliss. He wanted an extension in the NCAA. What they do?
Well, they denied his extension.
An
So
additional year was denied.
yeah, his additional
What does
year
that
was
mean?
denied. So they filed a temporary injunction, and there's a TRO, temporary restraining order, and they'll have to settle this in court.
How will the outcome? What's going to happen?
Well, they filed it with
Mississippi,
a state judge, not a federal judge.
right?
Some people consider that to be venue shopping in the legal realm.
That's not illegal.
No, it's not. It's there's a lot of things
Coming.
that are.
It's coming.
It's what it is. It's unethical, but it is what it is. It's college sports, so I'm not gonna.
You and I have talked about this a few times with him wanting an additional 6 years to play college football, but he's not the only one doing it.
Carson Beck got a 6 year last year. Joey Aguilar is also filing for it currently for his 6 year with Tennessee.
Is 6 years going to become the norm, JJ?
Well, that's the thing. If they don't, the NCAA is trying to make that not a precedent. But if they don't do something right now, I mean, that it's rapidly becoming a precedent.
Well, Trinidad is not the only one trying to get an additional year of quarterbacks in the SEC. Who's the other quarterback?
Well, like I said, Joey Aguilar from Tennessee. We brought him up, but I mean, it's similar to the situation that our favorite quarterback from Vanderbilt,
Diego Pavia.
Yeah, similar situation, but he at least went to junior college. With Trinidad Chamberlain, they're trying to,
So 1 year he didn't play many down, maybe none at all.
Yeah, he had tonsillectomy. He said that it was because of illness, and that's not reported. But the thing is, it's the Division II is handled completely different than Division I. If the same thing had happened in Division I, it would have been defaulted, like reported in a way that would have gotten him the extra year of eligibility. It's just the way that they do things differently. And I don't know. I
Everything I'm reading, JJ, seems to hint toward Trinidad Chamberlain getting that additional year, that 6 year. What do you take on Joey Aguilar? Is he going to get an additional year? Just a guesstimate.
I mean, if assuming that they also filed a state injunction in the state of Tennessee, where a lot of judges graduated from the state university, I would imagine he would likewise be similarly in a good situation.
I'm tempted to ask Jerry Jones, would he pay Green some more money to try to get another year at Arkansas?
I don't know if that would help. He didn't win a single game.
They won
conference.
They
didn't let me finish. They didn't win a game in conference. They won a game that mattered. Okay. But it's a different regime now. We got Ryan Silverfield, so no worries there.
I just jokingly say that because you're just looking at these guys. The goal used to be, JJ, to get out of college. Give me so I can get in basketball. You can do 1 year and go play NBA. Now football was complaining that they had to do 3 years before they can go to the NFL, and now they want to stay in college. What's up with that?
Yeah, I mean, so Trinidad Chamberlain, on one hand, he elevated his draft stock from literally nothing. Like he literally went to Ole Miss to be a backup to a top three pick. Like he would be not one of the first three quarterbacks picked. I mean, I think after Fernando and then Ty Simpson, I'm not sure, he might be the third quarterback pick, but I mean, one of the top 3 rounds. Like he would be a third round selection or higher. But for him to get the equivalent amount of money that he would get at Ole Miss, he would have to go in the top 7 picks. Like if you're the 8th overall pick, you're a first rounder, and you're the 8th overall pick, you're making less money than allegedly the $6 million that's on the table for him currently.
So this is America, and in America, it's all about the Benjamins, right?
Dante Moore decided he didn't
Stay
want. Yeah, I mean, and he could have been the second pick.
All about the Benjamins.
It is.
Well, JJ, we talked football. I want to get ready to transition away from. Well, no, though. A couple more. I want to talk about North Dakota State.
Yeah, North Dakota State. They are no longer Division I, AA or FCS as
they
it's
left
called.
the Missouri Valley Conference for football.
Yep. Yeah, for football only starting in 2026. They will be a member of the Mountain West Conference.
Mountain West. How much did the Mountain West pay them to join that conference?
Well, they'll be paying the Mountain West to join the conference.
That's how it works.
That's how that works. Yeah, they're paying $18 million total for the move. And that's divided in a few different ways. They have to pay the NCAA to go from FBS to FCS, and they have to pay Missouri Valley to leave the conference, and then they have to pay the Mountain West to
join.
And probably do an SMU and win the league in the first year.
Okay, JJ, we that's conference changes are going to be happening even more than just the Mountain West. Like, we've been talking football. We talked a little bit about the Super Bowl. But before I go to basketball, what's up with this here shirt?
I'm just wearing the jersey, just so everybody wants to know.
What jersey is that?
This is the jersey of the next year's Super Bowl MVP. That will be Jamar Chase. So if you want to put a little bit of money, you want to win a little bit of money, I'll go to Vegas right now, hand a ticket. Actually gambling's legal in a lot of different states now. You don't even gotta go to Vegas. But yeah, I'll put my money down on the Cincinnati Bengals to win the Super Bowl and Jamar Chase to win Super Bowl MVP because that's what's gonna happen.
Okay, football season. Well, let's talk basketball, JJ.
Yep, Super Bowl ended. There won't be a football game played for another 8 months. So let's pivot on over to basketball.
Let's talk basketball. Let's talk Big Ten basketball to begin with.
Big Ten basketball. Let's talk about
who's the best player in the Big Ten?
The best player in the Big Ten? That's a good question. Before Saturday's games, a lot of people would have told you it was Keaton Wagler for Illinois. After that game, it was probably the worst game it's literally the worst game I've ever seen him play. Because didn't watch any of his high school games, and this is the worst game he's had in Illinois uniform. After that, it would have to be Jeremy Fears.
I was waiting for you to say that. You're trying to say he's up there for the best player in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean he put in another stellar performance. He was been on a streak of them. 31 points against Michigan, 27 against Minnesota. He had. Or 29 against Minnesota. He had 27 the other day against Illinois.
So he's in the fighting for the top player in the Big Ten. Who's the dirtiest player in the Big Ten?
That would also be the same guy. He's just kind of like a Draymond Green, I guess. He can. It's like a double-double in that respect.
What's up with this fear? These tendencies were not on display last year, JJ.
Yeah, for those that don't know, it started. Well, he's been doing crafty things for a while, but the first time it was brought to the attention of the greater public was some of his play was after the Michigan game. Michigan's head coach was irate, and he doesn't have a reputation for normally being that way. Dusty May isn't the most irate person, but he attacked Jeremy Fears by name, said it's on the tape. It was not just one instance. It's routine. So I think that drew more attention. And initially Tom Izzo, defended his guy, and he likes to do things in house. He outwardly said, Jeremy's not a dirty player, and none of that's intentional, et cetera, et cetera. But after the Michigan game came the Minnesota game.
Ooh.
And there were a few more instances. Of
and
tripping and kicking and the bad places you don't want to be kicked.
And after Minnesota,
Tom Izzo had a different tune. He tried a different tactic, and he said, he threatened to bench him if he doesn't, get something together. Actually, the Illinois game was not without controversy. There was an incident where his foot was stuck out, and people, inquiring minds were wondering.
Well, in my mind, it was a chip, but the refs went back and looked at that, and they didn't say he tripped him.
Yeah, he got away with it.
But that's JJ. What's the betting odd that he will get a tech in the next game?
Ooh, it's close. All eyes are going to be on him wherever he goes. Specifically when he's on the road, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Like the Illinois game was at the Breslin Center, but on the road, he's going to be the target. He's Michigan State's best player. He's their most important player. And now with Divine, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his last name, but with his broken foot out for the year, he's the only guy that can consistently break down the defense, get to the hole, and then normally kick it out or finish at the rim. He's been doing a much better job finishing, but now they're even more reliant on Jeremy Fears. They don't have any other option to do that. So. He's going to be the target of all of the opposing teams. You're going here forward.
JJ,
hopefully you can handle it.
We're talking Big Ten. We mentioned Jeremy Fears and Michigan State. Is the Big Ten? Is it Michigan and everybody else, or is there really a fight for the Big Ten crown?
Yeah, Michigan. Via advanced stats, they've separated themselves. They have a lot of quality players, but if you look at the standings, they have a 1-game lead over Illinois. Illinois is tied. Who's Illinois tied with?
Nebraska.
Yeah, Illinois and Nebraska are tied for second, and then Michigan State is tied with Purdue for fourth or whatever.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, fourth.
Fourth. I'm sorry.
I don't think Purdue and Michigan State. I think really it would claw. I mean, they have 3 losses in conference, but I definitely think that Nebraska and Illinois. I mean, Illinois still has Michigan on the schedule, so they could. That's all. They could control their own destiny in that respect.
Michigan State still has Michigan on the schedule.
That is true. Michigan State is still, but it's at Michigan, and we saw what happened at the Breslin Center.
So, is it Michigan and everyone else, or is it still a dogfight?
It's still a dogfight. I mean, Michigan has 1 loss. They lost to a Wisconsin team, and it's funny. There's a guy that had 17 points in that game who just was lights out, and then the next 5 games didn't have 17 points total. So sometimes games just go like that, And it was at Michigan on Michigan's home court. They just lost to a Wisconsin team that I don't know if they're going to make the tournament. So, they're obviously not infallible. They can be beaten. If Wisconsin can beat them, a lot of other teams can.
Okay.
But people think that they might have been looking ahead to the Wisconsin game.
Nebraska was coming up.
Yeah. But I do think that they are the best team in the Big Ten. I think they have the most diversity. They have the most versatility when it comes to inside, outside.
Is that their greatest strength? What is Michigan's greatest strength right now?
Man, their greatest strength. I would say their greatest strength is their defense.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
they have length at every position, and Mo Johnson looks like he's going to be a first rounder. The transfer from Illinois. You have Yaxel, the transfer from UAB. He's looking great. The transfer from North Carolina, Cadeau at point guard. He's been shooting the ball a lot better than he ever did when he was at North Carolina. So,
transfers.
They have one of the highest payrolls in college basketball. They're right there with St. John's in Kentucky, and I think they use their money wiser than St. John's or Kentucky. I think that's the case this far.
Well, the receipts seem to agree with you. The win-loss. JJ, let's go down south to the southeast. What does the standings in the southeast look like?
Well, there's one team all alone at the top in the southeast as well. That would be the defending national champion, Florida Gators.
Them Gators.
Yep. Much has been made about their backcourt. Xavion Lee, Boogie Flan. They have not shot the ball well at all. They have not defended well at all. They've struggled.
And yet they're number one in the east.
And yet
in the southeast.
Yeah, Florida's still number 1 in the southeast. So,
So, if Florida was in the Big Ten, where would they be? Where would they be ranked?
I would think that they would be, tied for second, along with Illinois and Nebraska.
Ooh, I'm not so sure I would agree with you there, but you know what? We'll see how the thing.
I do think Florida matches up really well with most of the teams in the Big Ten. Just because of the length that they have at, pretty much every position.
Yeah, they do have the height.
Yeah, they can guard up, and when they're shooting the ball well, they're very difficult to stop. So.
Okay. Last year SEC dominated basketball. This year, the Big Ten is way heavy at the top. Is this the heaviest top Big Ten conference you've seen?
There's been others.
You're right. I just remember another.
Yeah, there's been other years where you'd had, multiple teams, Purdue's and the Michigans and Ohio States, along the way, and Michigan State, of course. But I would say this is as good a chance as any that, for them to break this seal and finally win a championship for the first time in 26 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
As the next time you and I get together and do this, we're going to dig a little deeper in basketball.
Yeah.
But are we leaving anything out right now?
It's just the Super Bowl hangover. I think, we're wrapping up football.
Football is never wrapped up for me.
It's never wrapped up for anybody because the offseason is now like part of the story with the transfer portals and all of that. But and now a conference realignment. I mean,
yeah,
who
and
knows?
players going to be meeting in Indianapolis this month as well.
So yeah, they'll always be on the back burner, but we're moving football to the back burner, basketball to the front burner, and yeah, we just have a lot to talk about. Luckily, Arkansas and the Michigan schools look like they have something to say about what's going to happen. So
So we're done until the next time.
That-
We'll pick Sui.
yes, sir.
WPS. You like you were going to say something.
Detroit basketball.
All right. We out of here, Jay.